So, how does a trader really achieve what they call super performance? We're talking about those truly life-changing returns in the stock market. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive right into the blueprint of one of the absolute greats, Mark Minervini. We'll break down exactly how he built a strategy to find the biggest winning stocks time and time again. All right, let's get into it.
And look, to really get a sense of just how elite this guy's performance is, you don't have to take my word for it. Check this out. Jack Schwager, the legendary author of Market Wizards, said this, and I quote, "Minervini's performance has been nothing short of astounding. Most traders and money managers would be delighted to have Minervini's worst year, 128% gain, as their best." I mean, just let that sink in for a second. His worst year is what most people would consider their absolute best. That tells you right away that his strategy is something special, something different.
And here is a perfect example of that edge in action. Get this. In 1997, he put his own money on the line and entered the U.S. Investing Championship. And he didn't just win, he absolutely crushed it with a 155% annual return. That was nearly double his closest competitor. So the big question is, how on earth did he do that? It definitely wasn't luck.
Okay, so to really understand his method, we've got to understand the man himself. Because his journey from being a school dropout to a self-made millionaire, well, it was anything but a straight line. It was literally forged in the fires of failure.
And he's the first to admit it. He said it himself, that in the beginning he made every mistake a new investor makes. And honestly, that's the most important part of his story. His success wasn't some kind of magic trick. It was methodical. It was built piece by piece from the rubble of his own early failures. And that's a journey, let's be real, a lot of us can probably relate to.
I mean, his early days were basically a textbook example of what not to do.
He was a junior high school dropout, no formal training, and he just jumped in head first. Bam! First investment account completely wiped out. Then he fell for one of those hot tips on a biotech stock and watched it crater from $18 all the way down to less than $1. And all along, he had naysayers telling him, it's a rigged game, you can't win. Sound familiar? Any of those traps ring a bell? See, this isn't just his story. It's the story of how way too many investing careers both begin and end. But here's the thing. For him, those failures became his greatest teacher. He had this realization that just hoping and guessing was a one-way ticket to going broke. He needed a system. And that led to his big aha moment where he decided, okay, instead of guessing, I'm going to reverse engineer what actually worked.
And this was not some overnight thing, not even close. Look at this timeline. We're talking about a decade of just obsessive heads-down work. Think about it. 5 years of research, reading over 1,000 investment books before he even landed on his core idea. It was only when he got his first computer in the late 80s that he could really start digging into the data and testing his theories, which eventually led him to create his signature system, SEPA.
So what exactly is this SEPA thing, this grand theory that came out of all that grinding? It stands for Specific Entry Point Analysis. And the best way to think about it is like a two-part filter. First, you've got the fundamentals, right? Are the company's earnings and sales strong? Is it a healthy business? But then comes the real magic, the secret sauce. He analyzes the stock's chart, its technical behavior, to find the precise spot to get in with the lowest possible risk. It's all about finding the right company at exactly the right time.
Now, this is where things get really interesting, because his SEPA system basically flips all the conventional wisdom you ever heard right on its head, right? They tell you, buy cheap stocks with a low PE ratio. He says, nope, high growth matters more, even if it looks expensive. They tell you, diversify your portfolio to reduce risk. He says, no way. Concentrate your bets on a few market leaders. Forget about only buying well-known blue-chip stocks. Minervini's rule is simple. If it meets the criteria, you buy it, whether you've heard of the company or not.
Okay, so how do we actually use this? Let's break down the SEPA blueprint. It all comes down to 5 key elements.
And the whole system flows in this really logical sequence. It's like a funnel, starting wide and getting narrower. Step 1 is the trend. He only looks at stocks that are already in a confirmed uptrend. That's a non-negotiable. Then, if a stock passes that test, he looks at the fundamentals and for a catalyst, like a hot new product. only if it passes all those checks does he even start thinking about the trade itself, finding that perfect, low-risk entry point, and this is so important, having a crystal clear exit point planned out before he ever hits the buy button.
All right, let's double-click on that first step, the trend, because it's so critical. According to Minervini, every stock goes through 4 basic stages in its life. You've got stage 1, neglect, where it's just going sideways. Avoid it. Stage 3, the topping phase, where momentum is dying, get ready to sell. And stage 4, the big decline. Definitely do not own it. His whole strategy hinges on this one super simple but powerful rule. You only buy stocks when they are in a confirmed stage 2 uptrend. That's it. That one filter alone is designed to keep you out of 3/4 of all the potential traps in the market.
And this quote right here just hammers home that really counterintuitive idea about price. He says, the really exciting, fast-growing companies are not going to be found in the bargain bin. Think about it. Why? Because the big money, the smart institutional players, they're already buying them up. All that demand is what makes them look expensive. The key is shifting your mindset to see that a high price can actually be a sign of quality, not a red flag telling you to run away.
So that leads to a really important question. If the best stocks often look expensive, then when is a so-called bargain actually just a dangerous trap waiting to spring?
He has a great name for this, the broken leader syndrome. And oh man, this is such a classic trap for new investors. You see a stock that was a former superstar, it ran up like crazy, and now it's down 70 or 80%. And you think, wow, it's on sale. But what looks like a sweet discount is usually a massive red flag. The market is screaming at you that the company's best days are behind it, and the business itself is rotting from the inside out. Perfect example of this was Sun Microsystems back in the day. It looked cheap after a 75% drop, and then it proceeded to fall another 80% from there. Ouch. And all of this leads us to what is, without a doubt, the single most critical lesson in this entire playbook. Seriously, you can have the greatest stock picking system on the planet, but if you don't get this next part right, you are guaranteed to fail. It is all about risk management. And here it is. This is the one rule you can never, ever break. It's what he calls the trader's cardinal sin, allowing your loss on any single trade to be bigger than your average gain. If you break this rule, it's not a matter of if you'll lose money, it is a mathematical certainty. It's just that simple.
And let's look at exactly why that is. This table lays out the brutal, just unforgiving math of taking big losses. A 10% loss, okay, you need an 11% gain to get back to even. Not too bad. But look what happens when a stock drops 25%. You need a 33% gain to recover. If you let a stock drop 50% on you, you now need to double your money, 100% gain, just to break even. And a 75% loss, good luck. You need a 300% gain. This is exactly why cutting your losses small isn't just a suggestion, it's absolutely essential for survival.
So how do you survive that brutal math? Simple. You burn these rules into your brain until they become pure instinct. Rule number 1, always figure out your exit price before you even enter the trade. Rule 2, never let a nice solid gain turn back into a loss. Rule 3 is a big one. Never average down on a losing stock. That's just throwing good money after bad. And finally, Rule 4, the one that's hardest for our egos to handle. Cut every single loss. No what ifs, no maybes, no exceptions. Period.
All right, so we've covered the strategy, we've gone through the system, and we've laid out the rules. But the final lesson, the last piece of wisdom from the wizard, it actually has nothing to do with the stock market. It has everything to do with you.
This, for me, might be the single most powerful idea in his entire philosophy. Your greatest challenge is not the stock market. It's you. Think about that. The real battle isn't against some faceless institution or a fancy algorithm. The real battle is fought right between your own 2 ears. It's against your own fear, your own greed, and your own ego.
And really, that's the ultimate takeaway here. Achieving super performance isn't a hobby you do on the weekends. It is not about getting lucky on a hot tip. You have to treat it like a profession. It demands relentless consistency, unshakable discipline, and just an ironclad commitment to following your plan day in and day out, no matter what.
So, there you have it. You've seen the blueprint. You now understand the core principles that can lead to those incredible, life-changing results. The only question left, really, is a simple one. Are you willing to do the work?